Painkiller Ghosts, Chapter 14, The Hiding Girl. This is now about a week ago. She's hiding. She's hiding beneath cushions and pillows from the sofa and saying softly, "I'm a virgin, not an angel." The pillows fell as she spoke. There is a man, no name, in the room. He's slightly older than Chastity, drinking bottled water and leaning against the wall. And then she says, "And I've always been sort of a freak magnet." The reply, "I'll say." No name, bottle in hand, walks a few steps and then breaks a light bulb by taking the lamp by the base and smashing it headlong into the wall. He removes his watch and throws his watch onto the floor and kicks it to the wall where it slams and stops. He walks over to the fortress of pillows and throws them off of Chastity. He throws them forcefully and recklessly away, one this way at a plate and it falls shattering on the floor, another towards a framed picture which falls onto the floor also. He walks over to the picture, smashes his bare heel into the glass. He shuts one eye and opens the other eye wider. He takes a few steps back, a shard of glass is wedged into his heel. She says, "I'll say." He says, "I want you so much, but that is the difference between us." He stops for a second, but keeps looking right at her and goes on, "And I hate that." And he barely says this. She says, "Just being close to you is the closest I'll get to sleeping with you, unless you want me to shoot you." She thinks she means that last part like a joke, but she's not sure. He looks away and walks out of the room, down the hallway, past the half bathroom, and up the stairs to the second floor, leaving bloodstains wherever his left heel lands. She follows, down the hall, up the stairs. She walks into the spare bedroom, the library as they call it, with bookshelves packed tight with hardbacks and paperbacks and records and magazines. There's a window in the room. She can feel a breeze and see the red glow of his cigarette and the smell of tobacco when he exhales through his nostrils, looking out over the quiet street. All the houses around his are dark, like they were evacuated from some anthrax scare and no one bothered to knock on this door. Or like in New Orleans after the hurricane hit, when people lived off propane stoves for months with warm beer as painkillers. He smokes out the window, looking absently at the dark houses. Then he crawls through the window, out onto the roof, and sits against the dormer window, smoking his filtered cigarette. She walks across the room, through the lingering smoke, past yellowed paperbacks, encyclopedias, and photo albums. She climbs through the window and carefully maneuvers herself onto the roof near him, but not right next to him, leaning back against the wooden frame of the window. The neighborhood is completely quiet. He turns his head towards her and slaps her across the cheek, slaps her hard. He doesn't say a word to her, but then spits at her and hits her hard in the cheeks with his fist. He stands up and says to her as she's crying, "I guess me shooting myself is the closest I'll get to sleeping with you." He has a gun with him. Chastity knew he kept the guns in the library. He aims the revolver at her chest, then raises it and places it against his temple, stares at her, keeps his eyes wide open. He watches the wind blow her hair around. She's crying and a little puffy already from where he slapped her. And then he moves the gun from his temple and pushes it against his left eye and pulls the trigger and then falls 2 stories, landing head down on the driveway. The neighborhood is still and quiet. Chastity is in tears and paralyzed. There are no clouds in the sky, but she thinks she sees a few bright, brief flashes of lightning. But they don't seem to be coming from the sky. She's just confused, she tells herself. It's just sheet lightning. It's only lightning, just not up in the sky.